That's just abysmal.
That's
abysmal.
That's abysmal right there.
Abysmal, that is, right?
Like, that's like...
Oh, that's aggressive.
He knew what he was doing, and he got off on it.
Thank you for tuning into the It Could Be Worse podcast. As always, this is made for you and by you. So if you have any ideas, feedback, good or bad, leave it in the comments. All I ask is you say it with your chest. Because we always take it and we try and make this the best that it could possibly be, right? Now, today, let's get into it from some stories that could show how it could be worse. Today, we'll be focusing on how awful online dating is.
That's a field right there. That's a rabbit hole.
Anybody who's actually been online dating hated it.
Yeah.
And so we'll see why. This is a message exchange on Tinder between two guys, right? Well, not two guys, two people, right? And the guy messages, "Are you lightning? 'Cause I want to make you McQueen." And then he sends a picture of like McQueen midair, right? And she responds, "Hi. Obviously, I'm no longer interested in communicating with you after that message, but I'm writing to let you know for your sake, you need to do better. No girl will ever seriously reply to you."
She's got bad taste.
And then she blocked him.
I'd reply to that. She's got bad taste.
She's right.
She's wrong.
I think she's right.
She's wrong.
I think she's right.
She's wrong.
Okay. All right.
If somebody sent me that message, my pants would be off in seconds.
Jesus. Okay. A guy messages after they match, "Didn't we kiss one time during a game of truth or dare in my neighbor's front yard in the 7th grade?" She responds, "Have you felt alive since?"
That's hurtful.
I mean,
but also true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, like if I'm gonna assume minimum you were like 20 when this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has been years. That has been almost a decade.
7th grade?
Yeah. It's been almost a decade.
13, 14, 15, 16,
Why are you still talking
18,
about this?
19, 20. 8 years.
Yeah, why are we still talking about this? Why that is like
It's like me talking about my elementary school crush.
Mm-hmm.
Calm it down, hon.
Oh Jesus. Okay, here's one. They match, right? The woman sends height ? And the guy says, "What do you mean?" And she replies, "There's a height restriction to ride this ride." And he waits like 6 hours and responds, "Surely you must know you're nowhere near attractive enough to make those demands."
Oof.
Right?
That's bad.
I don't get the whole height thing.
I don't get the height thing either.
No, I think it's a complete waste of time. Like, what are we?
Yeah.
Unless you're under 5'8". That's unfortunate.
Even then, it don't matter. It's all about your energy. Look at Bruno Mars. How tall is Bruno Mars?
Oh, he's real short.
He's real short.
Oh, like 4'2".
Yeah?
Yeah, no, he's real short. But like,
he's not that short.
I exaggerate, but
yeah, no, it's all about your energy.
It's literally all about your energy. But wow.
He's 5'5".
Yeah, short. Okay, and then his message: "You from here?" She replies, "Yeah." "Nice. Do you know any good spots for a date?" "Museums." "Is there one you prefer?" "Art." "I bet I can guess your favorite style of art." She says, "Oh, really? Go for it." He replies, "Minimalism."
Ooh.
And blocks her.
Oh, that's great.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have no conversational skills.
No conversational skills at all, and
Mm-hmm.
then they just send you a one-word message, and it's just like, just give me more to go off.
What am I supposed to do with this?
What am I gonna do with one word?
It's like you know that one picture of the guy with a stick poking, like, come on, do something.
Come on, do
Oh
something.
my god, no! The amount of people I've talked to where I'm just carrying the conversation on my spine, and there's just nothing happening.
Nothing happening at all.
There's nothing happening here.
No,
Like,
conversation is a mutual thing, and you have to have both people on board.
I know. Okay, here's another one. They match, right? This time the girl messages first.
Mm-hmm.
How's your evening? Oh god, her English is awful. "You must have on my checklist to have a job, a house, and a car, and it's a must that you be 6 foot plus." Right? And then he replies, "Hello, I meet all those requirements, but it's a must on my checklist that you have 9 months of cash reserves in case of an emergency, and a debt-to-income ratio of 30%, and put 20% into an income tax advantage account." She never responded.
No.
It's been months.
No.
And honestly, that's the best way to respond to that. Because what's this whole checklist nonsense?
No, it's dumb.
No, okay, I get it. Everybody has their personal preferences. Whatever, right? Having a house, a car, and being 6 foot plus is not personal requirements.
That's not personal requirements. That's like Santa's Christmas list.
I know. I would say, like, at what point are you not looking for a life partner and more somebody to pay your bills?
No, it's entirely like vapid, like, oh, I just want somebody to like fund my lifestyle kind of dealio.
And I mean, if you can get that, good for you. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But like, don't be surprised if people are a bit crabby with you after you do that. Right?
And don't be surprised if the relationship doesn't last longer than 6 months because there's no like connection going on there. Yeah.
This one, guy and a girl, their match, right? You look like a Chinese. Are you an overseas Chinese?
Whoa, one more time?
You look like a Chinese. Are you an oversized Chinese?
I wonder.
Is what that person messages, right?
I wonder how many girls he's got with that one.
And then she just replies, no, I was born here. And she's like, you look Asian. You're very beautiful. Are you a hybrid? And she just replies, thanks. I'm a 2020 Toyota Prius. Are you a hybrid? Yup. 2020 Prius.
Honestly, that's the best way to counter that right there.
I don't know how you leave the house that confident. Like, really, there's nothing you can take notes of. There's people out there messaging all that nonsense. You can shoot your shot. It can't be worse.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, I know what that is. Isn't that... No, I know exactly what that is. It's the dumber you are, the better you think you are at a task. The smarter you are, the worse you think you are at a task.
Yep.
Right?
The Dunning-Kruger effect in action right there.
I suppose. Right?
Y'all ever just wipe your glasses off and they come out worse than they were before?
I can't relate. My vision's been perfect since birth. Literally since birth. Like, you know the way in, like, video game cutscenes, they pull, like, the child out and it's all, like foggy and, like, no. 4K since I left. It's been that way since.
They didn't even have 4K when we were born.
Of grass I've been seeing since birth.
Best you got was HD TV.
Actually, no. Fun.
You know, with those little dumb red like DVD boxes, you remember those? They lasted all about 2 years before they finally got killed by Blu-ray.
Nope, I've been seeing Blu-ray since birth.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. I can't relate.
Blu-ray's standard is 1080p, so you're not seeing in 4K.
Some of my friends would be talking about how, oh, you know, before I got glasses, I thought, like, the grass was just like a carpet. I didn't know there were individual blades. I have never been able to relate to something less in my life.
I hate you.
It's just, it's all worked.
I really do hate you. It
always has. And it will continue for a while.
I really do hate you. I'm gonna gouge your eyes out just to let you know how it feels.
Okay, back to the topic. I met this dude on Tinder and asked him what his last name was, right? He told me, he then replied, are you doing a little background check? You might find out I'm a murderer, just ignore that. Kissy face, right? Okay, good sense of humor. Well, I Googled him. He was a murderer.
You can't joke about that. Because then people will actually do it.
Well, honestly, though, but, like, here's the thing. If you give somebody your first and last name and you know you're a murderer, joking about it isn't the worst thing you could do. Because it's like, no murderer would joke about this. Like, come on.
Unless you're a psychopath.
I know. So it's like, I could see where he's going. But, like, the kissy face? Dude. You know what that is? That's practice. He's done this before. He's scared off enough women to know. Let me try and joke about it. Let me try and get ahead of this.
I've so many late night bar confessions. Maybe if I just make a joke about it, they won't react as strongly.
Yeah, exactly. Me murder.
Maybe,
girl. You can look it up. And it's like,
what? This is me giving you my judge required notice that I killed somebody.
Last name Dahmer.
Stop. No.
All right, that wraps up the Tinder stories for today. We're still going to stay kind of in this general theme for the rest of the episode of, like, dating, advice, and all of that, right? Hellscapes, what to do and not to do, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to take a slight tangent because there's been even more updates around the Tate story, right? I know, right? It's a gift that keeps on giving. Really, it is.
This is now relationship advice on what not to do.
I know. Good thumbnail he gives. Good thumbnail.
Good thumbnail. He give good thumbnail.
He really does. He really does. And that's because Vice apparently got a hold of some audio from his phone, right, that he had texted other women. That is horrifying.
Horrifying?
Yeah, even by Tate standards, it's pretty bad.
Even by Tate standards, horrifying?
Yeah. However you feel about him, it's neither here nor there. This is awful, and we're gonna play it for you. We're obviously gonna censor the worst bits, but it's just, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not look good. And if this is,
I'm excited.
If this is the stuff that the public media has, I dread what that court case is gonna reveal. Okay, but here we're gonna play it. Here we go.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather you didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to? That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ. I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Right. And
That's
just abysmal.
That's
abysmal.
That's abysmal right there.
Abysmal, that is, right?
Like, there are certain, like, instances where you hear about a celebrity committing some brand on the spectrum of SA to someone, and I'd say 6 times out of 10 it's like a miscommunication of consent. That's like,
oh, no, that's aggressive.
he knew what he was doing and he got off on it.
No, that's aggressive. It's aggressive.
That is abysmal behavior.
I know. And it's apparently they're going to release a full documentary in 2 days. And
A full documentary in 2 days?
Yeah. And if that's the stuff they're willing to leak now, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What else do they have?
What else do they have?
And this is, again,
if this is the hype trailer,
right? That's what I'm saying. And again, here's a wild thing. This is just a media publication.
yeah.
Right? Like this isn't prosecutors going after him. They are, but this isn't what they have. This is just media outlets that have this.
Yeah, this media outlet doesn't have the power to do like a full-on legal discovery here. Mm-hmm. They're just a media publication. They're just getting what they can from like individual reports.
Mm-hmm. So it's
they don't have access to his like phone and stuff.
It looks terrible right now.
Yeah.
On every level it looks terrible right now.
That clip is damning.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And then on top of that, right? Another tag on for another story we'd been following. Mm-hmm. The whole Logan Paul CryptoPunk scam.
Yes, what's that? CryptoZoo, you mean?
CryptoZoo. He's done so many of them.
How many has he done?
Quite a few, because it's very easy to make a ton of money that way.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially when you're using just stock photos and you're just...
Well, now, since failing to take accountability didn't work, failing to sue didn't work, he's now trying to rip out of a playbook that he himself was deriding a couple of months ago and saying, the Matrix is real, it's attacking me, they're coming for me, this is why.
Pulling out of the Tate playbook now.
Yes, and I'm like, why? Just say you're sorry.
Just say you're sorry. Just apologize.
I know between prime hydration, impulsive, you have the money to just...
Say sorry and just
say sorry.
Say sorry and just
pay them out.
Let it go.
And the crazy thing is, I actually quite like him. I actually quite like.
He kept his nose clean and he said some of the right stuff for a little bit.
Not even kept his nose clean and said some of the right stuff. Like he genuinely seemed to have changed after the whole forest.
No, that's what I mean.
Because again, to be fair, I'll give him credit. Not a good look, but it's entirely possible he didn't do any research whatsoever and walked in there as an influencer kid. Right? Perfectly fine. He seems to have learned from it. In fact, one of my favorite bits from his show was when somebody was like, oh, dude, I love Japan. You gotta go. It's great. And him just going,
yeah, I can't. I'm not allowed back there.
you know I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Right? So, like, he really seemed to have his head on straight. So it's very odd to see all this playing out.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a downturn
And
from where
the
he
whole
was.
Matrix angle, I'm wondering why we're going down this route.
Yeah, why are we going down the Matrix angle all of a sudden? Like, it seems everybody seems to be blaming the Matrix for whatever situation they end up in.
I mean, the one thing I will say about this whole like Matrix thing is it's like if you believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to connect dots. Very easy to connect dots.
We can talk about numerology for hours and hours on end, and it's going to be the same stuff.
I mean, yeah. But those are the two major updates. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff happening on every corner of the internet, right? Mm-hmm. Teenage guys have been harassing some gymnasts for a bit now, and that's not great.
Teenage influencers are harassing a gymnast?
Yeah, it's been a whole thing. She's got like crazy fans. Yeah. Seems like a nice girl, but like she just has a ton of angry fans, right? And then so we'll probably cover that one on the next episode, right?
4 or okay, never mind. Yeah, we'll cover it later.
And then so we're just gonna move back in, right, to where we were, dating advice and all that, and we're gonna go to a question we received, and it is, what makes a woman's dating standards so high? I feel like I've been searching for a partner for a while, and I can't figure out what they want. Do they want a physically attractive person? Do they want somebody they actually like? Is it wanting somebody who's not overweight, who has a good income, who's tall? Should they be lowering their standards? I don't know what to do. Right? And I figured this is a very interesting topic because I know that person's not alone.
No.
I know, especially if you date online, if you spend any time there, it can feel a certain type of way, right? So I wanted to get like your thoughts on it because I think you're going to be a bit nicer than me.
Well, right now, and this is like proven through some recent studies, we're in like the loneliest time for men right now.
Oh, facts.
Like it's
so many guys.
I think it was a Reuters study or something along that level of like super analytical journalism came out with just like the percentage of like men under 30 who have done the do has gone down by like 5 to 10%. Which isn't a lot on paper, and I could be completely wrong.
1 in 10 guys, that's a lot.
We're relying on my memory. That's a lot of people.
1 in 10 guys.
Like 5 to 10% seems small, but like that's
15 million guys in the U.S.
Huge number.
15 million.
And so
who just weren't, by the way.
The other,
assuming the population is 300 million, I know it's not. Whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Well, because I know there's going to be dorks in the comments saying, actually, the population is 320 million. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We're rounding.
Matter. We're rounding
for ease.
We're rounding for ease and rhetorical sake.
Yes.
That's the wrong term, but we'll roll with it. We've kind of come to a point, I'm noticing, where standards are going up, yes. But standards are going up because I don't want to blame social media, but I'm going to blame social media. The figures that you see on like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and all these places just seem to have their completely together. Just completely together. Like these are, at least from what we see, from what they show us on the social media pages, it's like, these are like, there's not a dysfunctional bone in their body.
Well,
nothing about these people is like wrong. And I feel like that is one, artificially raising standards, but at the same time revealing an inadequacy of our education to young men.
Possibly.
Like, I know when I was growing up as like a teenager, there wasn't a lot of like care to tell, take care of your skin. Make sure that you like, use some form of like facial cleanser and like like lotion, bare minimum facial cleanser and lotion. If you have any sort of like acne issues, I'm not going to say it's going to perfectly fix that issue, but you will improve sizably. Like, I didn't have super big breakouts before I started using just those two things, but they definitely improved my face situation, like, not by margin, like, not within a margin of error. Like, it was significant.
No.
So I feel like standards are rising, but not everybody is rising to meet those standards.
I mean, really, I'm going to keep it simple. I think you're right? I think social media plays a factor in it. I think it partially is also because guys are getting it together. I'm not going to lie. Like, now more than ever, guys are, like, actually working out, eating healthy, like, moisturizing and all that. Like, guys look the best they've looked in a while. They're dressing better. Like, guys actually put a lot of time into their appearance now, which is relatively new, right? And, you know, when you're competing, not only with all that, but now there's more money to be made than ever with the internet, right? It's like the standards raised because guys have gotten better.
Yeah, the divide between like your everyday average man and your peak men is widening.
And it's not fair. You're right. Like, even just a simple thing like what you're describing, where it's like you need to use a facial cleanser and lotion.
Just a basic skincare routine.
Just so you
will
don't have
improve
acne.
your face significantly.
Just so you don't have acne. But there's guys like me running around who just like can like bar of soap and they're fine.
Like, you get maybe
bar
one
of
zit
soap
a month
on their face. You don't get a zit. Like, you can eat whatever you want, you don't get a zit, right? There's just people like that running around. It's really not fair, and I think we'll get into this more later if you guys want. And I think I got quite a bit of feedback from TikTok that you guys wanted more of this, right? But I think, like, you just got to know yourself and be able to play the hand you're dealt. If you're like me, you're one of those guys where it's like you were basically gifted. Like, you don't need to do very much, and all this just kind of works out for you, right?
Like I said, you get like one zit a month
It's
from
great.
my observation.
It's great, right? So it's like, if you do that, then you can focus on other things. If you're the type of guy where it's like, if you're not on it, if you're not drinking water, if you're not working out, like, you will break out. Know that and act accordingly, right? It's really just playing the hand you're dealt. That's like the biggest piece of advice I can give you. If you want to stand out while dating, you just have to play the hand you're dealt to the best of your ability. Don't look at all the other guys doing X, Y, or Z because you don't know what it takes for that. You know? Like, if you just take the example of, like, social media, one guy with abs could just have them. Like, I'm sorry to say, there are just people out there who wake up with them.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Then there are also people who have the money to just get them implanted.
And then there's people who take gear to make it happen, right? You never know what it takes a person to get to what they look like. You can just bet that they're playing their hand they've been dealt to the best of their ability. So really look at yourself, your surroundings. This is something I actually did, right? If you, oh God, I wish I could reach into my desk, but just go pick up like a deck of playing cards, 52 standard. It's like $2.
Oh, yeah.
It's like $2. Get a Sharpie too, and literally write down every single thing you have going for you. Like, every single thing. You can fill 52 like nothing, right? And then just shuffle them and deal yourself a hand of 7 and see, what could I do with these 7 things if this is all I had, right? You would be surprised at how much you can do with just a few things you have. And also, part of it is, like, the first 10 are going to be easy. First 20 for me were easy, right? But, like, once you get to 30, you're like,
what do I do here? What do I do here?
Right? And you start reaching and you're like, oh my God, that is something I have.
Yeah.
Because no matter how bad it feels, I promise you, there's a person out there somewhere who just got a terrible call that they never want to get, and they would saw their arm off to swap places with you. No matter who you are.
It could be worse.
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 Yeah. So, unless you're in the lithium mines.
Ooh.
That's like an unfortunate reality.
That's just an unfortunate reality right there.
And somebody should really do something about that. Other than that, though, you're probably, it could be worse. If you're watching this right now, I'd be willing to bet you're doing so from the comfort of a warm home on a device that you don't want to know what it took to make, right? With people around you who love you, or at least access to people who love you, there's plenty you can do. Don't get down on yourself. Don't feel like, oh, dating is ruined for me. No, just play the hand you're dealt.
Not
to
only
the
that,
best of your ability, And there's no way you'll be single.
I think another big thing that is kind of plaguing the men's dating scene at the moment is pressure to find the peak girl.
Well, men want status.
Men want status, yes.
And, like, unfortunately, one of those avenues is the person they're with.
Mm-hmm. But I've met guys who, like, feel no need to put a lot of effort in and still think that the biggest thing that is going to bring them joy is going to find, like, a double D-cup woman, like, 5'5", cooks, cleans, and it's from their personalities not exactly what they want or need.
I know.
Like, I think the biggest thing that you can do for yourself if you're, like, struggling with the dating game is really consider what you want out of a partner, and also remember that this is, like, a partner. This is a life companion, not a tool that you are trying to find. Mm-hmm. A tool or a ladder up.
I'd say that's important, but you also have to remember for the people who are, like, listening to this, they're not there yet, you know? Like, it's one thing to tell somebody, oh, yeah, list out all the things you want in a partner and, like, look for them. It's really hard to do that if you're depressed in a blanket. That's why I'm always, like, go out and do something.
Yeah.
Go touch some grass. Get some in between your fingers, touch some grass, breathe it in. If you're allergic, good, better, right?
Honestly, if you go and touch grass and you're, like, out touching grass doing, like, a hobby of yours, you know, who knows, you might...
Plus, it's really not that hard to talk to people outdoors.
It really is not.
Like, I'm going to give the game away. We'll get into this later, but if you guys want. But for now, I'm just going to give you something simple. I'm going to give the game away, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to meet somebody outside, number one, be respectful. Be respectful, right? Solid eye contact, the generic stuff. You just walk up to somebody, you say, hey, excuse me, I know you get this all the time, but I think you're beautiful. Could I please get your Instagram or something so I could follow up? Maybe we could talk.
Yeah.
Right?
And be respectful about it.
Boom. That works so often because you're not asking for their number, which some women can find creepy, right? And the nice thing about Instagram is if she thinks you're cute too, you know, things can take off from the DMs. If you have your Instagram together, like I tell you to, right? You know, you look decent on there, right? You go to the gym, all that. Like, dude, you don't need those dating apps. You don't need those dating apps.
Just go outside.
Go outside, touch some grass, get it in between your fingers.
Meet some people.
Literally. I will not complain. If you guys email me pictures of, like, grass in between your hands, I'll be so proud of you guys. I really will. Like, literally, email me this. I don't care. I'd be more than happy.
Of grass.
In between your fingers, because some of you need that. I know you. You need this. So go touch it.
The other thing that I think you can do if you're looking to go outside to even just meet friends, and this is something I am, like, shameless in doing, bring something unique with you. This is kind of like the old meme of, like, the guy who carries, like, a piece of cheese around with him. Do you remember that horrible? That's like an
tier 4 meme. Dude.
No, that's like an old
online.
Tumblr meme from, like, 2013 of, like, dating advice for guys. Bring a wheel of, like, cheddar cheese around with you. People just ask you about it. Do literally that, but with, like, things that are not as eccentric as a wheel of cheese. One of my hobbies that I like to go out and, you know, fool around with is analog photography. You know this.
Right.
I have a camera. It's really, really cool looking.
Bring it on.
I will bring it on in the next episode.
For you visual ones, if you're audio, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'll probably put a picture here too.
God, you're that shameless.
It's it's called the Yashica Mat 124G. If you are an analog photography nerd, you know this is just a stereotypical, like, medium format camera. The thing about it, though, is that most people don't know what the hell it is and just look at it and it looks weird and it looks old, and I just take that around as a piece of jewelry sometimes, and people will just walk up to me and say, that is a really cool camera. Like, can I see some of your pictures? It's literally that easy. Just if you don't feel like you have a lot of conversational skills to start with, bring something unique out with you that's like, you know, big enough to be noticed. Like I've got this camera that sits on my torso here.
No, you're right.
Bring something unique with you.
First of all, we're giving away a ton of game this episode, and I think this could be the last one because we're gonna be out of business if you keep this up. Like Jesus, save something.
Save something
I know,
for later.
right? But like for example, like I'm a big car guy. I know a lot of you probably are, right? And like it costs nothing. Like for example, I just got a Benz, right? And the first thing I'm buying is a hoodie.
It costs nothing.
It costs nothing.
Rephrase that.
It costs nothing.
It costs.
If you're a car guy, hey, if you're a car guy, you get it. It costs nothing, right? It costs
nothing.
Right? And the first thing I got is a hoodie with a 3-pointed star on it that says the best or nothing, right? And I get it, right? For most people, it's just like a hoodie, it's whatever. But like the amount of guys who enjoy Benzes or German cars, they're like, I know you.
I get it. I know you.
Or like even just car girls who are like, and I'm like, right? So like it's really true. It doesn't hurt to be a billboard for your hobbies because you'll meet other people who are into them, and A, you can learn stuff, and B, you can meet new and interesting people, and you never know who knows who, right? And God, that's another one we need to give away, networking. But we're not going to do that on this episode.
We're not going to do that because otherwise we'll
gonna
run
be
over
6
time.
hours
and then
of game, right?
6 hours
here.
of game, yeah.
Like, if you guys have a pen or in paper, I promise you, if you practice 1 in every 3 things we tell you, you'll be fine.
Bring out those flashcards and the Sharpie and start writing our ideas
I'm serious
down.
about that grass, by the way. Like, if there's one thing, I'm dead serious about that. I'll be waiting. Yeah.
It's like that one TikTok of the dude closing down League of Legends and then going outside and getting cheered on by a group of college frat boys.
Really, that's what it feels like. I'll be cheering you on. Shoot. But yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in for the It Could Be Worse podcast. Hopefully we showed you it's not all bad on your end, and it can, in fact, get better. Obviously, if you have any other questions, any funny stories you've bumped into, right, please send them our way. We have a TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of them. It Could Be Worse podcast, right? You can find it there. There's also an email and a link tree, so please feel free to do that. And,
we have a link tree now?
We do. I'm very high tech.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're in the modern age.
I know. We will see you on Monday for episode 4.
4. Already to 4.
I know, right? It's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll see you guys then.
See ya.